the lights of Hanukkah, the lights of Christmas. Isn't it wonderful that these different faith traditions have at the heart of them the holy sense of light, which is wisdom, which is enlightenment, and which is also something that nurtures us. It's something we look forward to as we were celebrating last night, the darkness and the opportunity to just go deep and to be quiet and to grow and to listen and to learn in those times, those fallow times where we're not out there in the sunshine, and then to have the light come gradually. Every faith tradition, and we had many represented last night, every faith tradition has at the very heart the idea of illumination. And so we love that the menorah is one where the candles are lit every night. They start tonight. We even have one at home. We're leaving in the morning, so we can't get past the first night. But just the same, it's there in the window. It represents something very special, because you know that that Jesus was not a Christian, right? You got that? Jesus was a Jew. And he wasn't trying to make a new religion. He never heard the word Christianity. He wanted to bring something new to his faith tradition with which he had grown up. I mean, he was speaking in the temple when he was 12 years old and trying to get across that that was not the way to do temple. And he was explaining to these erudite scholars and rabbis that there was something more important than the materialistic experiences that they were expressing. So Jesus brought a new light to the world, the light of love. Moses brought the law, Jesus brought the love. And don't you know, we need both. And we have both. Because as Ernest Holmes suggested, we court the presence and we direct the law. It's when we are in that consciousness of light and love and unity with all the love and all the power and all the capability of God within and all around us, that we are able to speak our word for love, for prosperity, for health, for creativity, and the law responds and says yes. As Dr. Frank Richelieu says in his book with this title, the universe always says yes, yes, yes. And what do we say here? Yes, please. And so we celebrate these lights. The season of miracles is celebrated right now. And the true miracle, of course, is that inner radiance, the light that comes forth from each of us. And so menorahs and Christmas trees light up our lives. And at the heart of each, there are treasured stories that warm our hearts. I haven't shared this with you for a while, so I thought that I would share it today. It is really all about bringing our inner light to others. It is about letting this circulation take place, the circulation of love, and bringing a great light into each person that we meet, be it ever so humble. It's called The Chain of Love. And it was written by Clay Walker. It's a song. I will not sing it. He was driving home one evening in his beat-up Pontiac when an old lady flagged him down. Her Mercedes had a flat. He could see that she was frightened, standing out there in the snow, till he said, "I'm here to help you, ma'am. By the way, my name is Joe." She said, "I'm from St. Louis and I'm only passing through. I must have seen 100 cars go by. This is awful nice of you." When he changed the tire and closed her trunk and was about to drive away, she said, "How much do I owe you?" Here's what he had to say. "You don't owe me a thing. I've been there too. Someone once helped me out just the way I'm helping you. If you really want to pay me back, here's what you do. Don't let the chain of love end with you." Well, a few miles down the road, the lady saw a small cafe. She went in to grab a bite to eat. and then be on her way. But she couldn't help but notice how the waitress smiled so sweet, how she must have been 8 months along and dead on her feet. And though she didn't know her story, and she probably never will, when the waitress went to get her change from a $100 bill, the lady slipped right out the door and on a napkin left a note. There were tears in the waitress's eyes when she read what she wrote. You don't owe me a thing. I've been there too. Someone once helped me out, just the way I'm helping you. If you really want to pay me back, here's what you do. Don't let the chain of love end with you. That night when she got home from work, the waitress climbed into bed. She was thinking about the money and what the lady's note had said. As her husband lay there sleeping, she whispered, soft and low, everything's going to be all right. I love you, Joe. Gets me every time. Every time. Oh. Don't let the chain of love end with you. We're always paying it forward, aren't we? We are the lights, this chain of love, the love light that shines within us all. If we don't share it with someone else, it's just going to burn a hole in our heart. We need to continue to share the radiance that we are. We need to continue to lift each other, not only during this great season of love and light, but how about all the time? Don't let the chain of love end with you. You and I can make a difference wherever we go. Wherever we go, even in our own homes. In fact, let's begin in our own homes by sharing the love light with the people that we may even be having a fuss with once in a while. You ever have any fuss with the people you live with? No, not you. That's the best place to start. Charity begins at home, right? Here's something else. I just found precious things I want to share with you today. And this was something that was so evident last night when there were people here from so many different faiths, caring about each other, getting to know one another. None of the speakers had ever met any of the other speakers, the Buddhist, the cantor, the wonderful gentleman from the Islamic Center, our Christian friend from St. Luke. None of them had ever met before, and they instantly fell into each other's hearts. It was very clear that we were united in what was truly important. And I want to share this little poem with you. There's room for you and room for him. Room for her and room for them. Room for young, room for old. Room for shy, room for bold. Room for short, room for tall. Tell me, how is there room for all? Here's the secret to making rooms great. We refuse to ever make room for hate. In this sweet oneness, in this wonderful awareness that we are all one, and celebrate and learn from each other's traditions, there is only love and the light of love. So, however you celebrate your Christmas, and there's so many ways to do this. Singing, lighting candles, special traditions, special kind of cookies. By the way, the cookies that I brought last night, they were gone. There were 96 people here, and they went right through them, along with the others that so many people baked and brought. That was beautiful, too. So we like to share the sweetness of the season, along with our baked goods as well. But however you're celebrating, you have special traditions in your families, and you have special food you like to create. And some of us are still mourning the loss of dear people in our lives. And they need to be included in our celebrations too. It's different this year for some people. Some people right here, some people very close to us. And so we embrace each person with love and hold one another as we're walking through these processes. And the light continues to radiate, continues to stay warm and bright. On our ministers' field list, one of our dear ministers on the West Coast was sharing a poem I cannot share with you because she used wonderful words that ministers aren't supposed to use. And it was absolutely appropriate because it was what she was honestly, authentically moving through with the second Christmas without her husband. And it all wound up with love and light, but oh my goodness, she told what was so about what was going on. And it was wonderful because our ministers' field list is a very safe place to share with each other our authentic experiences. Did you know that ministers have authentic experiences too? So we hold each other tenderly as we're walking through the changes in our lives. And however you celebrate your Christmas, this is something that I wish I could find the source for. I do not know who wrote it, and I've not shared it with you for a couple of years. It's simply called A Christmas Story. From the very beginning of time, there was a promise and a hope that there would be one who would come, who would show the way, one who would be a light in the darkness, who would be inseparable from the Creator, and by their very being would express the truth of human existence. It had been prophesied from times of old that there would be a child born who would rightfully inherit the kingdom, one who by their very nature would bring peace, balance, harmony, tranquility, and serenity to this world and all whom they encountered. The world yearned for this coming, the birth of this child, the fulfilled promise. All the earth and heavens yearned for the coming of this child. Wise men foretold and saw the signs in the heavens. For indeed it was to come to pass that a child would be born, a holy child filled with knowing, a child filled with love and understanding, one worthy to inherit the kingdom on this earth, one whom by their very being would bring love, and by their very existence would bring understanding of who they truly are and where they truly dwell. The world and even the heavens yearned for the birth of this child, the Christ child. For the universe would not be complete, nor would the world ever be the same again. So it came to pass, in the perfection and fulfillment of time, that this child was brought forth into the world. The child was announced by the angels of heaven that the fulfilled promise had come, for God had become humanity. A new star appeared in the heavens, for a great soul, a master, had been born into the world. And then, in the innocence and wonder of this new experience, you took your very first breath. When we are aware that the Christ child is reborn in our hearts all the time, we really know what this Christmas experience is about. It's the new possibility as Jesus became the Christ and fulfilled the promise of love, so that Christ's light lives in each of our hearts, and we are the new possibility. As you've heard us say before, we are the ones we've been waiting for. So it's time to rise up and fulfill our divine destiny. Will you say with me, I open my heart to the divine nurture.
I open my heart to the divine nurture.
I delight in the radiance of the indwelling light.
I delight in the radiance of the indwelling light.
And so, my beloveds, beginneth our lesson. Thank you.